Good afternoon. I'm Lauren from Migraine Australia, and I am delighted to have Jemima Dzator with us today, who's going to talk about her research relating to migraines and hormones. Jemima, could you please tell me about your research?
Yeah, of course. And thank you so much for having me today here, Lauren. So my name is Jemima Dzator, and I am a pharmacist. I am also a PhD candidate or student researcher at the University of Newcastle, Australia. So at the University of Newcastle, Australia, I work in a centre called the Clinical Nutrition Research Centre. And at this centre, we like to focus mainly on preventative health medications. So medicines or treatments that can be used to prevent different medical conditions or disease states. So I focus mainly, in particular, my research focuses on migraines. So I'll just give a brief overview of what migraine is, which I'm sure you're all aware of. So migraines are not just regular headaches. These can be headaches that can be accompanied by a whole range of symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, light sensitivity or sound sensitivity, and they can really affect an individual's ability to interact with their family or friends or just their work or social life. So they are very debilitating. In particular, to narrow it down a bit further, I focus on menstrual migraines. So menstrual migraines are migraines that can occur at certain points of the menstrual cycle. So these can occur during menstruation or ovulation. And these migraines have been thought to be triggered by the rapid decrease of estrogen that occurs prior to these two time points, menstruation or ovulation. It's really interesting and also important to note that estrogen has a whole range of different functions in the body, but it can be very important for something called blood vessel function. So by blood vessel function, I mean the ability of the blood vessels to expand or contract appropriately when needed. So when a certain region of the brain is activated, that brain region needs blood flow. So usually the blood vessels will expand, and estrogen helps with this expansion of blood vessels. So our hypothesis or theory is that the women with menstrual migraine may have poorer blood vessel function in their brain. And this rapid decrease of estrogen might further exacerbate that poor blood vessel function in the brain and trigger migraine. So that's mainly what I'm focusing on at the moment.
What's the long-term goal of your research? What are you trying to achieve?
So ultimately, our long-term goal is to try and understand the menstrual migraine brain and just migraine brain overall, with particular emphasis on the blood flow in the brain, so that we can be able to find a treatment that can prevent these menstrual migraines and ultimately improve quality of life, because migraines are very, as I said, debilitating. They can really affect your quality of life. They don't just last for that initial pain period. You can have a few days after the migraine where you're still feeling the effects of the migraine. So we just want to find a treatment that can prevent these menstrual migraines and improve quality of life.
So Jemima, where are you up to in your research?
So we're currently running a study called the ResForm study. So that stands for resveratrol for menstrual migraine study. And this is a clinical trial to investigate whether a natural supplement called resveratrol can prevent menstrual migraines and ultimately improve quality of life. So resveratrol is a natural ingredient that can be found on the skin of grapes. It can also be found in nuts and also various berries. And the reason why we've chosen resveratrol as our treatment for menstrual migraine, just to investigate whether it can help, is because it's been shown to improve blood vessel function in the brain in several studies. So our research group at the Clinical Nutrition Research Centre, based in Newcastle, has done a whole range of studies involving resveratrol, and we've found that it's been able to improve their blood vessel function in response to different mental tasks or different stimulus or stimuli in a whole range of different populations. Resveratrol is also an anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant, and it's been shown to be protective for the brain health and also just the blood vessel function in the rest of the body as well. We are currently looking for 80 women to participate in this trial who suffer from menstrual migraine. If eligible, the participants for this study will be enrolled in the study for 6 consecutive menstrual cycles, where we will investigate to see whether resveratrol can prevent their menstrual migraines and ultimately improve their quality of life.
So you said you were looking for 80 women. How can people learn about signing up or more information about the study?
So there are a range of ways that you can get in contact with us here at the Clinical Nutrition Research Centre. The first is to send an email through to us. Hopefully the details will be posted up on the Migraine Australia Facebook page, but our email is CNRC, standing for Clinical Nutrition Research Centre, at newcastle.edu.au. Or they can phone us on 02, which is the area code, 49218616, or they can also visit our Facebook page as well, Clinical Nutrition Research Centre, and they can get in touch with us that way. Another thing that they can do is if they know, or if you know of anyone who suffers from menstrual migraine or potentially may suffer from menstrual migraine, they can also apply to be part of the study. And just spreading the word about the study. The more people that we have, the better the study, and hopefully the better, the more we can take away from the study. Yes.
Yep, amazing. We'll put all those details on the video and on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
So at this stage of your research, is there anything that you found that people who can apply to their daily lives to help with their menstrual migraines?
Yeah. So the main thing is to stay healthy, to eat a balanced diet, and to exercise if you can. All these things can help improve or maintain your good blood vessel function in the brain. So we definitely recommend doing those things. Another thing is to try and avoid your triggers as best as possible. So if you suffer from, if your migraine is triggered by caffeine or certain foods or lack of sleep, trying to avoid those triggers and just might be able to help reduce your migraine frequency. Another thing is for women who have migraines, it might be also worthwhile tracking their menstrual cycle and seeing if their headaches coincide with their menstruation or ovulation, as you might have menstrual migraine and not even know it. So this would be also another good thing that you could do in your day-to-day lives.
In your research, have you found like how hormones impact both genders and how different it is?
So there is actually very, very little research surrounding hormones and migraine in men, but there is a small study that has been published that does suggest that men who suffer from migraine may have a different balance in their sex hormones compared to men who don't suffer from migraine. So differences in the main sex hormones, which include testosterone, and their balance with estrogen, the female sex hormone, might be a bit different in men with migraine. However, men don't undergo the rapid hormonal changes that women experience throughout their menstrual cycle during their childbearing years. Migraine definitely does affect women more than men. In fact, it affects women 3 times more than men.
Amazing. And we're coming up to the end now. So is there anything that you'd like to add or say about your research?
I'll have a quick look. We actually also have done a cross-sectional study last year. So we did do a pilot study to see if there was differences in blood vessel function in the brain between menstrual migraineurs and controls before we've gone into this clinical trial. We did find differences in the blood vessel function in the brain between menstrual migraineurs and controls. We found that the women with menstrual migraine had impaired blood vessel function in the brain. So this means that they during different stimulus, during a mental task, their blood flow increase to the brain was less than those who didn't suffer from migraine. Some of our theories, and we will be publishing a paper on this study. So watch this space for more information about that paper.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. It's so great to see that there's so much work being done to help people with migraines and all different kinds of migraines.
Yes, definitely. I really hope this can add to what's known about migraine, because unfortunately there's not a lot of research at the moment just in migraine in general. If you look at the clinical trials registry, probably 100 studies are focusing on migraine. We're the only study, as far as I'm aware, in Australia that is focusing on menstrual migraine. So it's very under-researched topic, but it is a very common condition. Migraine is more prevalent than asthma and diabetes combined, but the research in migraine, unfortunately, is very, very little. So yes.
Amazing. Thank you.